Hi everyone, welcome back. This is my second video and it's about my collection of Batman stuff. Hi again everyone, I'm Jamie from Think Geek Theory. Welcome back to my channel. Appreciate you being here for a second time to go through why I collect Batman Part 2. This video I'm going to talk about some of the figures, toys and comics that I have in my collection for you. Again, this is my collection, so you may have some of this stuff. You may not agree with what's in here, but this is my collection, so I just thought I'd quickly give an overview of the stuff that I have. Be interesting to know what you have in your collection at the end of this. So if you want to drop me a note in the comments section afterwards, whether you have something I have or something completely different, that'd be great. It's all about sharing the collection around. The first thing I want to talk about is the toys, the figures that I collect. For Batman, the first one that I have, and the actual only one I have of this item, is the Hush series of Batman. This was a highly anticipated release of figures as it was based on the Jim Lee artwork. It was released around 2004, I believe, as well. Now, I only have one of these figures in my collection. I wish I had more, but I got the Batman itself. This one I picked up at this weird ass store somewhere in Newtown, Sydney here in Australia. It's one of those stores that have all those, cheap Halloween costumes and hats and fake vampire teeth and all that type of thing, and run a sewing business out the back. But in this store, they actually had a few boxed figures of different things, from punk stuff to Batman to a few Nightmare Before Christmas items as well. So I wish I'd grabbed some of the other Hush Batman figures in there because they had some really great ones. One of them was the Scarecrow, but the Batman was there and I had to get it. So this one is the one and only of this sort of toy collector I have in my collection. The next one I'd like to talk about is the black and white statue series. Now, they've done quite a few of these and I think these are just fantastic. They're done great. I think the black and white genre lends itself to the Batman ethos and storylines as well. So doing these are just fantastic, and it was great to see some of those two-dimensional characters done by some of these artists, appear in this great 3D version of it. So if you kind of love the way that they drew and colored the Batman in those comics, and then you saw that represented in these black and white statues, it was just a score. Now, I don't have many of these, I have a few. If I started collecting, I would be filling up from ceiling to floor around with all these types of things. So I have a limited amount and I've tried to keep myself to that. The first one I saw was a Sergio Angangoles. Now, I butchered his last name, I know, so yes, tell me, yeah, I know I did it wrong. But he was a great artist and a great writer in the Mad magazine. So his version of Batman, of course, was done in the Mad style. So when I saw that they had done it in a black and white statue, this was the one I had to have. It's a wonderful figure, I love it, it's just done really, really well. And it's just a really wild take on the other normal Batman statues you would collect. The other two that I have are the Darren Cook and the Mike Allred ones. Great figures, great artwork on them, so of course they're in my collection. There are so many more black and white figures that are really well done and great representations of Batman coming to life out of those comic books into a 3D art form. The black and white ones are great to display. I think they're a must for any collector in Batman. I've got them, I'm sure a lot of people have got them as well. The only drawback is, my God, can they be fragile sometimes, especially because some of the fine work that's represented in sometimes ropes, whips, even in there as well, look that one up. The capes and batarang stuff that Batman would be holding, so they can be a bit finicky, but they are fantastic items. The other thing I have in my collection in the line of collectible and toys is one from the DC Batman animated series line. This one again, I talked about it in my part 1 of the video about why I'm into Batman. This was one of the major reasons for it as well. It was just a great cartoon, and coming out of the Tim Burton, it was kind of still based and honoured that dark sort of theme of Batman as well. So the figures that the DC Direct and DC Collectibles have done through these sorts of lines is just fantastic. I haven't got them all. I've got Batman, I've got the Joker, I've got Harley Quinn and a couple of the villains. The best one in my collection is this one. It is the Batman and Robin with the bat signal. This is just done great. The ones missing from my collection, I would just love to have the Batmobile. That would be fantastic and round my collection out well. The next thing is some of the comics that I have, and the ones that I reread, the ones that I love and I think that have been great for the genre and great for Batman in general. I think the 80s and the 90s comics were fantastic in the term of artwork and some of the storylines that they produced as well. Some of the original from the Detective comics are great as well, but I really love some of the 80s and 90s because of the artwork in them. Some of the comics that I have that I reread all the time are Batman Earth 1, A Death in the Family. I think this is a must for anyone who is collecting Batman. You must have this book in your collection. Batman Haunted Knight was a great one as well. I didn't really think I would enjoy it, but turned out I liked it. Batman The Court of Owls, a great saga, and it was a really great take on Batman and some of his history and the ethos behind it in Gotham City. The Killing Joke, The Man Who Laughs, and The Black Mirror. So again guys, this is just a little bit of a part 2 from my original video about why I collect Batman. Now this one's about telling you some of the things I have in my collection as well and showing them off. It'd be great to know, as I said in the beginning, what's in your collection? Do you have some of the items I have? Do you have more? Now I've obviously not shown everything that I've got, otherwise it'll be a 2-3 hour video. But drop me a line, some of the things that you feel were great, have in your collection and love as well. So that about wraps me up for today. I wanted to keep this a short video. So again, thank you for watching, staying to the end and bearing with me. This is Jamie from Think Geek Theory, out.